is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through tears and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your tears and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through if you just
outside.
Marcus Beecham, everybody.
Thank you, Marcus. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Whether you're here in person, hello, and whether you're here online, so good to see you. We're so glad you're here. You can be online in our Zoom room, or you can be online on YouTube or on our website or Facebook. So enjoy any way you need to connect and want to connect. We're glad to have you with us.
Yeah, so welcome if you're new to Unity, and if this might be your first time joining us, or you're still trying to figure out who and what we are.
We're trying to figure that out too.
We're always trying to figure that out. But the one thing we do know is that we are a community that is grounded and anchored in principles of love.
Yes.
In the idea that we are the living expression of love, and that our mission, if we choose to accept it, is to own and stand in our capacity to be love and to see love all around us.
Right. And there's been no shortage of opportunities for all of us to practice that over the last 2 years.
Can I hear an amen?
And so today has multiple things going on where we get to practice and be the expression of love. So the city of San Francisco, once again, as we predicted, has changed their COVID rules, and they're no longer requiring vaccinations for groups that are our size. So we are no longer checking vaccinations at the door. We ask if you're not vaccinated that you wear a mask in the room. To protect, and again, another expression of love, to protect people who are vulnerable to severe COVID. So it's just a way that we can be the expression of love in the world. And we know on multiple levels how that has affected each and every one of us, having had people who have gotten sick, have lost people to this disease, and to the millions who have been affected, both with their jobs, with their families, down to people they will never hold and be with in person again. Yeah. So we can all breathe and be grateful, are grateful for being here and being able to be part of this expression of love. Thank you.
And, so we have COVID as we shift from pandemic to endemic, which is actually a good thing,
Yeah.
right? As we are coming out of something. And then we have everything that's happening in Ukraine and Russia. And let's be honest, there's also a lot of other hotspots, always hotspots around the world that perhaps we don't hear as much about.
Exactly.
Because they're not necessarily impacting a white European community. Predominantly white, and it's not all white, obviously, in Ukraine. But just that's something that I wanted to presence in the room.
Yeah.
That there's been a profound, sort of embedded white privilege, racist perspective that is happening in the outpouring to Ukraine, which I don't want to take anything away from Ukraine, right? And what we have seen show up for that particular situation is something that should also be happening absolutely everywhere in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about 3 years ago, I shared pictures on a Sunday morning of the children starving in Sudan.
In the Sudan, and
Yeah.
what's happened in Syria. And
Yeah, and it was just heart-wrenching, the photos of the hunger inflicted by the war there. And the world and we, because we're part of the world,
we're not separate.
we seem to move on and forget so quickly. And this is an opportunity to really hold the principle of love, to really hold it in the midst of the pain, because love is easy when it feels good. But to hold love and to hold the principles of love in our heart and in our actions and in our words when it hurts, when there's sorrow around it. And so Marcus's song, so poignant, because it is incumbent upon us to be the love and the words of love and the actions of love in the world. Deanne has a poem that she's going to share with us that talks about this, and Marcus is going to lead us in our opening song and our opening prayer.
So I do, so having said that, the call within myself and what I invite us all into is that the opening of your heart space that you have been feeling for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people is an invitation for you to step into that in every situation where something this horrible is actually unfolding, and that we have become aware that there's a muscle that we are capable of standing as, and so we can do that in other situations as well. So the prayer chaplains are surrounding us in this prayer field, and this poem was written by John Rodell, and what I loved about it is that I believe that it speaks very clearly to what we know and believe in unity about how we can be a force in this world for good. I can't make the world be peaceful. I can't stall tanks from roaring down roads. I can't prevent children from having to hide in bunkers. I can't convince the news to stop turning war into a video game. I can't silence the sound of bombs tearing neighborhoods apart. I can't turn a guided missile into a bouquet of flowers. I can't make a warmonger have an ounce of empathy, and I can't convince ambassadors to quit playing truth or dare. I can't deflect a sniper's bullet from turning a wife into a widow. I can't stave off a country being reduced to ash and rubble. I can't do any of that. The only thing I can do is love the next person I encounter without any conditions or strings. To love my neighbor so fearlessly that it starts a ripple that stretches from one horizon to the next. I can't force peace on the world, but I can be a force of peace in the world. Because sometimes all it takes is a single lit candle in the darkness to start a movement. I am a candle of comfort in this world. I burn with peace.
Let me run through a field in the night. Let me lift from the ground till my soul is in flight. Let me sway like the shade of a tree. Let me swirl like a cloud in a storm on the sea. Wish me on my way through the dawning day. I wanna flow, wanna rise, wanna spill, wanna grow on the side of a hill. I don't care if the train runs late or if the checks don't clear, if the house blows down. I'll be off where the weeds run wild, where the seeds fall far from this earthbound town. And I'll start to soar. Watch me rain till I pour. I'll catch a ship that will sail me away. Get caught in a wind I just have to obey till I'm flying away. Let me leave behind all the clouds in my mind. I want to wake without wondering why, finding myself in a burst of the sky. Control. I want to float like a wish in a well, free as the sound of the sea in a shell. I don't know, maybe I'm just a fool. I should stay where I am, I should stay where I'm at. Maybe everyone has hunger like this, and this hunger will pass, but I can't think like that. All I know is somewhere there's a clearing, there's a flickering of sunlight on a river flowing wide, and I have such a river inside. Let me run through a field in the night. Let me lift from the ground till my soul is in flight. Let me swirl like a shade of a tree. Let me swirl like a cloud in a storm on the sea. Wish me on my way through the dawning day. I wanna flow, wanna rise, wanna spill, wanna grow on the side of a hill, wanna shift like a wave rolling on, wanna stray from this path I've been traveling on before I am gone.
So we take this moment to shift from our beingness, our doingness, to the existence right now within us. We touch base with our breath to the infinite connection to the divine, knowing that within us lies all we need, all guidance, all strength, all wisdom, all purpose. Deep within us is the core of who we truly are. In this moment, we connect with that. We connect with the one power and the one presence that is our life. We connect with the strength and the wisdom and the love that changes everything. And we know that measured, purposeful steps forward are how the world shifts. Small deeds done with great love. So we affirm today that we take the next right step. We utter words of love and compassion. And we exist in peace and harmony. And so it is, and so we let it be. Namaste. Thank you. Our prayer chaplains were holding the space first there, both online and here in the room, and they're available for you. If you have something that is weighing on your heart, something you're wanting to celebrate, some healing for yourself or a member of your family or a loved one, I invite you to use the prayer chaplains to do that. If you're online, you can click the button in our chat or on our webpage that you can submit a prayer request, and someone will respond to you as you wish. And if you're here in the room after service, the prayer chaplains will be around the sanctuary, available for one-on-one affirmative prayer. So don't leave with the desire unfulfilled. Leave with the inspiration embedded. Thank you, prayer chaplains, for doing the service you do. And is the time also to fill out our spiritual connection card. So if you didn't get a bulletin when you came in today, if you raise your hand right now, our ushers can get a bulletin to you right now. So ushers, keep your hands up for a minute. The ushers are coming up down here. Kate, there's someone on this side over here, and I have someone working on that side. Great, thank you. It's now time to fill out the front half of the spiritual connection card. So if you're here in the room, please tear off the connection card and fill out the front half with your name and address, and whether you're a first-time guest, a second-time guest, or a regular attendee. Please let us know how we can connect with you, and if there's any thing you'd like to tell us on that card. We'll talk about the back half of it later. But it's an opportunity for you to converse with me and Reverend Deanne, and to make sure that we get to hear from you if we don't get to speak today. So thank you for taking the time, everyone in the room, and filling that out. So it really does help us. If you're a first-time guest here, or a second-time guest, we have some gifts for you here in the lobby. Please take one on your way out. We don't have anyone stationed, and we're not going to ask you to raise your hand because we don't want to have to point you out that much, but we're here for you. So if you're online, too, and you want to click the Spiritual Connection card and let us know you're a first-time guest, or your physical first-time guest card here, please indicate that on the card so we can send you a small electronic gift. The gift isn't electronic, but how you receive it is electronic. I should be very clear about that. We're not sending out electronics. You win a new computer under your seat. This isn't the Oprah show. Sorry. Or Ellen now, right? Yes, so it is time for our community singing. So I invite you at home and here in the room to stand as you're willing and able, to take a noisemaker and join us as we sing our community song, which is There Is Only Love. I couldn't see it. There Is Only Love. Come on up, guys. Yeah.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. only love.
Only love. There is only love.
Only love.
There is only love.
Only love.
There is only love.
Only love. There is only love.
Only love.
There is only love.
Only love. There is only love.
Only love.
There is only love.
Only love. Only love. There is only love.
Only love.
There is only love. There is only love.
We have now reached our time for meet and greet. Please greet your neighbors with a handshake or a hug. Respect the social distancing. And don't forget our
community
Zoom
version of There
family.
Is Only Love.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
It's like,
Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. Hey, Nancy, Lawrence, Valerie. Hi.
we leave right after Easter.
Great to see you.
It will be fun.
Elizabeth.
Oh, were you? Oh.
Yay! Oh, hi! Hi, Annalie! Where's Alan? I don't know. Really? Hey, Alan. Is Alan in the room? I don't think so.
Hello, everybody. Come on back. We're going to have wonderful hospitality downstairs, as always, so you'll have more time to connect and say hello and kibitz, as we would say in my tradition, my Jewish tradition. So what I want to speak to you today about is true grit. This idea of how do we activate and fortitude? How do we actually move that forward for ourselves? And as Ken and I were sharing at the very beginning of this, and Marcus, thank you so much for that flight. We didn't get applause for that. Can we just... it just brought tears to my eyes. And I don't know about you guys, but I find myself lately just continually being broken open. Just again and again, I feel like my heart just gets cracked wide open again. And I've been sitting with how it is that I want to hold that in a way so that the heartbreak doesn't disempower me. So that the heartbreak is something that actually can empower me in some way. And it's not always easy, because when our heart is broken open like that, it can either dampen our sense of aliveness or it can actually enliven it even more. And what helps me to remember that it can enliven me is the fact that my heartbreak is in direct correlation to how much I can love. Direct correlation. And so the invitation is always to be able to continue to open up into that heartbreak and become a larger container, which will allow us to be present to even more suffering in this world and actually know the truth of what is actually happening. The truth, not the circumstances, not what is appearing right now, but what I know is actually possible holding on to what is possible in every moment for me individually, for this particular community collectively, and for the world. And the irony that I just keep coming back to is this is the season for nonviolence right now, right? We are in the season for nonviolence. And that this type of aggression is just so upfront, so present and alive right now. So it's also Women's History Month, and last month was Black History Month, and 2 weeks ago, a landmark bill was passed. The Emmett Till anti-lynching bill was finally passed, decades overdue in every sense of the word, right? But the fact that it took that long for that bill to actually be passed was one of the things that has broken my heart open. And so in this, I realized that I also draw a lot of strength from the people that inspire me, from the people that help me to understand what this thing that is grit actually is. And if you've been in First Steps, you already have a primer on what grit is. But my favorite definition is this idea that we are persevering with passion. That is what grit is, that we are persevering with great passion. And what came to my mind in honor of all those things is the legacy that we all stand on of Black women and their commitment to their right to vote, which is also all women's right to vote, but particularly their right to vote, and how their commitment to that through generations has created a space where we get to move from not just not being able to vote to being able to vote, to then being able to actually run in elections, and then to actually being able to win them. And so I've put together a slide deck, which some of you may remember. A couple of years ago, I put together a slide deck in honor of Black women who, through the decades, have actually supported and made where we all stand right now possible. And I've updated it slightly so that it also includes some newer images. And it was important to me and to Misa that it be sung by a Black woman. So we're going to watch a video of Misa singing I Was Here, which was made famous by Beyonce. It was written by Diane Warren, and with a slideshow that goes along with it. Because this, to me, exemplifies what true grit actually is.
Footprints on the sands of time. No, there was something that meant something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I leave no regrets. Leave something to remember so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I wanna say I lived each day until I died, and know that I meant something to someone and somebody's life. The hearts I have touched be the proof that I leave, that I made a difference, and this world will see I was here. I lived, I I was here. I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it could be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it could be. I wanna leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I just want you to know that I give my all and do my best to bring someone some happiness, make this world a little better just because I am here.
Can we give Misa some love even if she's not here? Oh, are we inspired? That is the actual living definition of true grit. Right? Generations working to accomplish something that we all get to benefit from. They didn't do that just for themselves. They did that also for the greater good. And in that video is Republicans and Democrats, because we all stand on that kind of willingness to show up and be a force for change and love and equality. So grit itself can be broken down by its letters, right? If you want to understand what grit is. So grit is guts. It takes guts to do what those women did. It takes guts for us to stand and to step out of our comfort zone and to actually engage with the world, to actually say, yes, I am going to be courageous in this moment and step out beyond what is familiar, beyond the status quo. And that absolutely requires that we be resilient. Because in that process, there are going to be setbacks all the way. And the resilience is what allows us to keep coming back, to keep moving forward, to keep showing up again and again and again and again. And as we are showing up that way, what we're being invited to own is our own initiative. our own capacity to actually activate something in time and in space. Not an idea of something, ideas are great. But how are we going to actually initiate a living expression of what it is that we believe? So initiative is a huge piece of what grit is about. And then the last piece is tenacity. That we have to be tenacious, that we have to be willing to just keep showing up and keep showing up, and knowing that as long as I keep showing up, it is changing. Not even that it will change, but that it is changing. And that is the understanding of grit that allows us to actually move the world forward. Not just our own life, but the whole world forward. Now, when we think about grit, what probably comes to mind for a lot of us is this. Right? So we got John Wayne, and we got him all scruffy, and we got him all tough, and, real serious, and right? And there's an energetic around that perhaps can be part of grittiness, absolutely. But I want to offer another idea about what true grit actually is. Because aside from this image, what it evokes for me is this idea of closing myself down so that I can stand fixed on something from which I will never be moved. And what I want to invite us into is this idea of true grit. That there is something within you that is seeking to express and to open up into. There is something that is larger than who you think you are, that is seeking to make itself known, and it may feel like a desert. It may feel like there is no nourishment. It may feel like there is nothing around that could actually allow this thing that you are to actually be birthed in time and in space. But the truth is that everything you need, you already have. That everything that you need to resource you, to renew you, to actually allow yourself to show up the way this leaf is bursting forth, is the divinity that you actually are. That is the place where you are always resourced and renewed. And it is through your understanding that is always available to you, regardless of what the situation looks like, regardless of how barren and desolate the landscape may look right now. That there is something within you, the grit that you are, that can sustain this opening up into something greater. There's a gentleness that is available to you. There is a compassion that is available to you. And so this idea of living into true grit, right, is grounded. So they've done studies. This is actually a whole field of study, grit. Right? Psychologists study this. And one of the things that they have acknowledged is that grit is a greater indicator of success than talent or IQ. Grit is the thing that determines whether or not you are going to be successful, not how smart you are and not how talented you are. And so if the foundations of grit itself, if success has grit as a fundamental building block, then grit has growth mindset as a fundamental building block. That in order for grit to be available to you, you need to be cultivating a growth mindset, what those psychologists call growth mindset. And what growth mindset means is that when challenges arise in your life, that you're able to meet them, that you actually embrace them, not from a place of fear. That you're willing to show up in the challenge. That is something that you're saying yes to, because the challenge is where you begin to grow. How many people have experienced that in your life? That it is our worst challenges that allow us to grow and understand something more about ourselves. So can we embrace a growth mindset so that we are saying yes. And this is what we teach in Unity. This is what we believe, because you are the divine. You are what is available and accessible to you is the fullness of your divinity. And you are never done expressing the fullness of your divinity. There is always more for you to step into. There is always more for you to be able to explore. Our teaching is inherently based on a growth mindset. Can you embrace the idea that life is a process, that you are a process, that everything that is unfolding for you is not something that is fixed, but it is something that is continually evolving and growing? And one of the main indicators for whether or not you're in a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset is whether you are focused on perfection or excellence. Excellence, can you feel the difference in the two? Because excellence is where we are continually allowing ourselves to be called to something greater than what we are right now. Excellence is a commitment to our own growth and our own evolution. It is a commitment to always saying yes to more of that in our life. Perfection, can we just breathe into the fact that you could let perfection go? Perfection is what fixates us. We get so stuck on something having to be perfect that we actually stop trying. We don't even engage in those things that we don't know how to do, because if we can't be perfect at them, then we're not going to actually try them out. But what if you are actually engaged in the excellence of something? That means that you can start from beginner's mind, and you can be excellent in your beginning steps, which will allow you to grow eventually into a place of mastery. But we don't start off being perfect. So if we can let the perfection go, can I get an amen? We are entering into the availability within ourselves of growth mindset. And that allows us to show up with grit, right? That allows us to show up with it. So in quantum living, which was incredible, everyone who took the class with me, thank you for showing up the way you did. It was really a powerful class, because what we're focusing on in quantum living is who have you come here to be, not who you haven't come here to be, not who you aren't, unworthy, not enough, unloved, but who you are. A living expression of love, of life, of joy, of beauty, of harmony, of grace. That is what all of the focus is on. Who have you come here to be? And in the process of unwinding some of those stories that we hold about ourselves, we can come up against some tension. This idea that we have to let go of something that carried us to this point, some small, not true understanding of ourself that carried me right to this point right now, and now I get to really be in growth mindset, and I get to let it go. But that can be very challenging. But that's where we come back to, who have you come here to be? If you just keep that mantra for yourself, is this who I have come here to be? Is this who I have come here to be? When you're feeling afraid, have you come here to be afraid? I don't think you've come here to be afraid. When you're feeling nervous, have you actually come here to be nervous? I don't think you came here to be nervous. You came here to be the living expression of who you are in the most authentic way possible. And what we can see from those women that we got to watch in the PowerPoint slideshow with the song, what we see in the people of Ukraine, and what we see in the people in Russia who are being arrested, who are being for demonstrating against their own country. We are seeing what is possible when people show up in how they have been called to be. Not in who they aren't, but who they are. And that discomfort can be really challenging. Truly challenging. So how do we move through that discomfort? Because if you think those women that we saw in that slideshow were not uncomfortable, They were so uncomfortable. They weren't just uncomfortable within themselves, but the world was uncomfortable with them. So how do we navigate that? It's always going to be the vision that is going to pull us forward. So I have an expression which I say a lot: the pain pushes until the vision pulls. The pain pushes us until the vision pulls. What if the minute we start to feel the pain, we immediately go, I know there's a vision here for me. I know that on the other side of this discomfort is a vision of my own life, more whole, more impactful, more powerful. There's on the other side of this is the vision. How many people in here have experienced that intense pain that comes from life events, whatever's going on in your life, and then all of a sudden, in the midst of all of that pain, you have this aha moment of, oh, I am being invited to become this. I am being invited to become who I truly am. So the pain pushes until the vision pulls. And when you think about the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, you think about the pain that was pushing until the vision pulled. And that vision took decades to unfold, generations to unfold. And that vision didn't stay static. That vision grew and enlarged. Wanting to pass that bill meant that there also needed to be the ability to vote, the ability to be represented. It also meant that we black people should be the representatives of themselves. It meant that there was a fundamental shift, so that voting rights became an important part of how the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill was passed. And this is what I'm inviting all of us into. How do we allow our vision to pull us forward, but to not be fixated on it, and to know that we are continually evolving what that vision is? So another piece that we talk about in the quantum living class is this idea of authentic action. This idea that as we begin to understand who we've actually come here to be, that we actually need to take initiative, and we actually need to live it in time and in space in some way. How are you activating your vision? Whatever it is, if you are, I've been taking phone calls, I've been doing a ton of pastoral care around what's been happening in Ukraine. What is yours to do? As that poem that we read earlier said, there are things that you may not be able to control. You can't turn the missile into a bouquet of flowers. You can't make a warmonger have empathy. But what is it that you can do? What is it that is yours to actually step into as an authentic action? How are you being called to be transformed yourself so that the vision can actually become manifest? And that authentic action, that is a big part of what it means to be gritty. When we are gritty, we are actually engaging in the world. We are actually stepping out of our comfort zone. My next question is, how big is your vision? How big is your vision? My vision is huge, right? My vision is of a world that works for everyone. That is my vision. Everything I do is linked to how do I build a world that will truly work for everyone. What is your vision? Is it that big, or is your vision small? What happens if you expand your vision? What happens if you allow your vision to not just be for you personally, but that your vision is part of, because you aren't separate from the world. So if you are transforming something for yourself, if you're owning your courage, if you're owning your talent, if you're owning who you are and showing up powerfully, you're also doing that for the world. Are you doing that consciously? Are you owning how powerful you are? That when you stand like that, the world will change? Helen Keller has this quote, which is, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And that's the thought I want to leave you with today. That we can sometimes feel small, but when we allow our innate grittiness, because y'all got it. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't have grit, you do. You have grit. And the invitation is to, how am I going to activate my grittiness so that I can actually be a force for change in my own life and for the world? And that when we each do what is ours to do, and we join together, look around, look at each other. You're not in this alone. There is an entire community here. There is a community out there in Livestream. There is communities all throughout the Bay Area. There are communities throughout the world that are saying yes, yes. And when we step out and own our grittiness, and we move forward with guts, with resilience, with initiative, and we are tenacious, there is nothing that we cannot do. Nothing. So let's take this into our time of meditation. I'm going to invite Ken to come on up here. And I'm going to invite the music team up here. And I'm going to invite everyone to just settle in to listening to what is yours to do.
Thank you. As the music team begins, let yourself settle into your chair, releasing the things that you've been holding so tightly, so that the beingness you are is available.
I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me.
I don't have all the answers now, but I'm willing to take it slow. I believe something's calling me where the path will lead. I don't know,
But I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me.
there's an open road as far as I can see, and my heart will lead the way. And step by step through the mystery, I surrender every day. And I am
Open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant to be lived by me. I am open to the possibility. I am open to the possibility of a life that is meant
I am open. Open to seeing this differently. Open to knowing it differently. Open to being who I am here to be. Whatever the obstacle that lies before you, you are open right now, willing and receptive. For you are the key to that obstacle shifting. Your presence, your knowing, your wisdom, your knowledge, your love, your serenity, your voice is necessary for the situation to shift. So in this moment, I invite you to notice where your life may feel stuck or that it is against you. And release that understanding of the situation and know that you are here for that very situation. You are here to be the love where there seems to be none. You are here to be the voice for the people who are voiceless. You are here to be the champion of the unheralded. You are here to be the peace in the midst of conflict and strife. You are here to be compassion. You are here to be you, fully, holy, Holy, and Wholy, complete expression, excellence personified. For you are willing to continue to grow, to know, and to be exactly who you're here to be. In this moment and in the silence, imagine the life that is meant to be lived by you. See the walls come tumbling down. See the doors opening wide. See the hardened hearts melt. See the glaciers restored. See love. Be love in expression. Be open to infinite possibility right here as you, right now, together, changing everything. For in this moment and in this day, we can celebrate what we're here to do. We can name and claim the good we're here to create. We can make a better world. No limits and no excuses, right here and now. Join with us and sing this out loud.
There's an open road as far as I can see.
Amen.
And our hearts will lead the way.
The heart is the answer.
And step by step
steps are not
We'll
small.
surrender every day. I am open to
I am
the
open
possibility.
to unlimited possibility.
I am open.
I am open to be who I am here to be.
Possibility.
I stand in my authority, my dominion,
That is meant
my purpose.
to be lived by me.
I am that I
I
am.
am open to the possibility. I am open to
Loving,
the possibility
kind, strong,
of a life
passionate,
that is meant to be
heartfelt.
lived by me. I am open.
loving,
I am open.
kind, determined, grit-filled. Open. Namaste. Let's hear it for our music team, too. Woo! So we have a couple different ways that we can help you with that, to remember that and to anchor that for this week. In your spiritual connection card, if you turn it over to the back right now, you notice there's some suggestions. If you're online, you can click the spiritual connection card again and open that up. And the first one that we have is appreciate those that inspire me. Right? Yeah, those people who have come before us are the trailblazers, the way showers, from Jesus to innumerable women that Deanne showed us today. They are the example we can follow. We don't need to necessarily blaze a new trail, but to walk with those giants. Celebrate moments of passion and perseverance. You've all done it. You've all overcome. And remembering that part of you that knows how to do it and to overcome and to rise above any circumstance, we get to do it again and again. There's no destination, but there is lots of opportunity. And shift our focus from perfection to excellence. I love this. What you create doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, then I can create, right? Oh, who told us and why do we believe it has to be perfect? There is perfection in the imperfection. And embrace that. Opening to a larger vision for my life and for the world. Now, that sounds huge. And like we talked about last week, and Deanne and I talk about all the time, how you get there is one step at a time. So what is one step larger, one idea, 1 degree larger than you're currently doing? And if we were all to shift 1 degree right now, we would end up in a different place 10 years from now or 20 years from now than we're on the track for right now. So let's shift that 1 degree, open to a larger vision. Let's open to that and take the necessary baby steps along the way to do it. Please fill out your spiritual connection card and put this loose in the basket as the baskets come around here in a moment. And also, I just wanted to remind you that we still have the Release and Renew booklets. They're in the seats in front of you, and we've mailed them to you at home. It's a wonderful way to continue with your Lenten practice of releasing what is not yours and fully and completely embracing what is yours to do. I was with my family this week, and my sister, who is a wonderful, devout Catholic and she works in a church also for her Catholic church, says she's reading this and doing it along with her Ignatian spiritual practices for Lent. And that's the shift in the world, right? And she was complimenting Deanne and my writing in it and how wonderful she likes this book. And that's amazing, folks. That's the whole point of unity, that we are bigger than we are currently showing up to. And so now it is time for our chance for giving and receiving. If you're here in the room, there's lots of different ways to give, and if you're online, there's lots of different ways to give. First, you can text Unity SF to 44321 if you want to give by text. You can fill out the envelope in the seats in front of you that will give you an opportunity to make a donation by credit card, or you can put cash or a check in that envelope. You can also just put a check in the envelope. If you're at home, you can click the buttons and do it all electronically, or you can mail us a check to 240 Page Street, San Francisco, California, 94102. All of that information is also on our website. You can just click the buttons there. So I invite you when the baskets come around here in a minute to put all of that in the baskets. And in the meantime, I'm going to invite Anisha up to talk about why she gives to Unity San Francisco. Anisha. Is it green on the bottom? No. Okay. Here, we'll just use this. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Here we go. Okay, hello. Good morning. Well, I did not know I was going to be doing this morning, so I love it because it's a chance to practice excellence and not perfection. Yes. I figured I would just kind of talk about my week and how Unity has supported me throughout my week. I started this week with a family member in the hospital, and as usual, work was a little bit more stressful than normal, and just in the background, of course, things going on in Ukraine and the world, and at the same time, I'm trying to eat healthier, so I gave up my coping mechanism of salty, crunchy things, and my nervous system was not happy. It's like, what are you doing? So I'm in the quantum living class, and so when I attempted to do the worksheets, the homework I got to step 2 was emotions. I was like, I cannot, I just can't work through this. And so I emailed Reverend Deanne, and I was like, I need help. And immediately she said, yes, of course, let's work through this. And then on Saturday, I showed up for the quantum living class. And even though I didn't speak much, the people who were talking and the people who were sharing their own opportunities for awareness and healing, everything that people shared was reflected, or my experience reflected theirs as well. And it really just kind of highlighted that there is only one thing. And it was just so healing, and I really just appreciated everyone who showed up and shared. And then this morning I showed up, and I took part of the Reverend Elizabeth's healing sound meditation, and I left feeling just several degrees more peaceful than when I arrived. And then when Reverend Deanne spoke at the top of the service about that dichotomy about the Ukraine situation, and then but also kind of calling out the racism that's happening in the tone of the conversations, that really touched something. And then to have the inspiration of the presentation and Misa singing, it all just fed me so much. And I'm leaving inspired. And so that's why I give to Unity SF, is because I am so fed here, y'all. I am so supported and so loved. And if I can do even a small amount of my time and treasure to support that and help this grow and support other people to help that vision of creating a world that is here for everyone, that supports everyone, then that is my vision. That is what I'm here for. And so I'm happy to do it. And that is why I give.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we do this affirmation together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive.
Can we know that together? I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. And now if the baskets come around, please. Thank you. Thank you, Anisha. Thank you. Let me give you a hug. Thank you.
So we have a
We
lot
do-
going on here,
Yeah.
as always. So it's wonderful to see people here with us on Sunday morning, and if you're joining us on live stream, whether it's in real time or it's afterwards, yay, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just a thrill. I'm just so thrilled we're open.
I know.
I've been talking to other Unity churches, and they're still not in person.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to Unity New York this week. That Easter is going to be their first back in
yeah,
person.
a lot of people are doing
Yeah.
Easter as their very first back in person. So I just feel very grateful that we were able to be where we are regionally and move that dial.
And
right?
keep everyone safe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
keep everybody safe.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
join us. I am going to be teaching an affirmative prayer workshop on April 2nd. This is going to be at Unity in Marin if you want to come in person, but it'll also be on Zoom, so it's open to everyone. We are having a prayer retreat at the end of May for the prayer chaplains and for anyone who might be interested in prayer. If you are considering coming to the prayer retreat, it's Memorial Day weekend, this workshop is a prerequisite. So you have to come to this first so that you know what affirmative prayer is before you can dive into an intensive.
Someone snuck away from their keepers.
So it's April 2nd from 10 to 3. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Here, you want to hold this for me? You want to hold this for me?
And then
No.
we are doing our Easter flowers, our ritual. If you're new to Unity San Francisco and you don't know what our ritual is, it's amazing.
So the huge wreath we have downstairs, you can't see it, but there's a huge
That
one
we
out
use
in
for
the-
Christmas.
We used it for Christmas. We bring it up and you decorate it on Easter.
With
You
flowers.
With
It's part of a
bouquets
ritual.
of flowers.
It's
And it's
beautiful.
part of a beautiful meditation ritual we do. The day before, we make those bouquets. So I need volunteers to come and join me. I was a florist in a previous life. I'm a professional homosexual.
I know. And I am a professional queer lesbian. I have never been a florist.
She does the light. She climbs the ladders and does the
I
lights
do the
around there.
lights in here and climb the ladders. I don't do flowers.
Right. So, you know, dancer, minister, florist. Yeah. So, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to come together and we have fun. And I promise to teach you some flower tricks along the way. So, sign up for that. We also, in the seats in front of you and at home, you'll be getting these. We'll
The
be
day
mailing
before
them out this
Easter.
week. Yeah, that's the day before Easter, Saturday, 10 to 2. Here in the building.
The 16th.
And then we're having our Easter service. That'll be a year we've been doing in-person services. The music team's hard at work about doing their music already. The kids program is going to have a special Easter egg hunt in the park across the street. So these cards are for you to give to people to bring and to bring their kids to celebrate the day. No?
Oh, I got him.
That's my
know, but
office
see,
that's
this is
under
where you could
construction
get
at the
hurt
moment.
in
He
here.
loves
So
being
we're
in a
gonna-
construction zone.
I know. We're
Anyway,
gonna come up-
take one of these,
I
friends.
know.
And the last thing is right before, on Wednesday, April 6th, I'm going to do an online class on the resurrection narratives in the Bible. So we'll look at the historical critical of how those stories were written. Shh. Yeah, who broke my room? Yeah. Pedro.
Pedro broke
Pedro
his
did
room.
Who Pedro painted it.
So the resurrection narratives is going to be an opportunity to explore the stories of resurrection that are in the scriptures.
Yeah.
So join Ken
Yeah.
on April 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom.
Sure. So here we go. And so our meditations continue. Reverend Dan just celebrated 2 years. 2 years of doing Peace in the Midst.
2 years.
Yay.
Yeah, so thank you to everybody
David's
who
right there.
joins me. Thank you
See
to
David?
Dave Cooperberg, who fills
See
in
him?
for
Wait.
me
Go
when
say
I
hi to
have other
David.
things that I need to do.
Go say hi.
While I'm in France, just so everyone knows, we are covered. So it is still going to continue to run while I'm in France. Dave Cooperberg, Reverend Elizabeth, Tyler, and you as little as possible.
Yeah. Well, we looked at the dates and it's like, yeah, I can't do that date. I can't do that date. I can't do that date. It's like, okay, I'm doing it twice.
Yeah.
So it will be covered. It will continue. So please join us for that.
then
of course,
Elizabeth has her
Elizabeth's meditation is going to be continuing on Sundays right here. So join us for that. Our prayer chaplains are here, as I said at the beginning, for prayer right after service. Join them for there. And if you have a prayer request, just submit it online and we will get back to you. So this is the blessing of the children. We're not going to bring up the rest of the children, but we have this one.
Come here, Joshua.
Whoa!
Woo! Hoopla! Good
Yeah.
job.
Okay, can we bless you?
Can we bless you?
No. We have a blessing that says you are God's perfect expression of divine life. He doesn't have to be perfect.
And we love him exactly the way he is.
So, here we go.
Can we know this together? You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We see you and we love you exactly the way you are. And so it is.
So it is.
So thank you to everyone who makes service possible. I want to thank Brian, who stepped in today at the last minute to do sound. Can we give him some love? He said yes. And Marcus Beam, our soloist. And our fabulous music team, our band as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so we're going to bring the music team on up.
We have a final affirmation, which as the music team is coming on up, we will do. I commit to creating a world of safety, equity, and equality. Can we know this together, please? I commit to creating a world of safety, equity, and equality. And so it is.
And so it is. And Joshua keeps telling me he wants to dance, so I invite you all to stand and sing along and dance as you're willing and able.
True
Let's
colors.
dance to
We
True
haven't
Colors.
done this in a
Let's go
while.
over here and dance.